अनन्तं विभुं निर्विकल्पं निरीहं शिवं सङ्गहीनं यदोङ्कारगम्यं निराकारमत्युज्ज्वलं मृत्युहीनं परं ब्रह्म नित्यं तदेवाहमस्मि। स्वाराज्य साम्राज्य विभूतिरेषा भवत्कृपा श्रीमहिम प्रसादात् प्राप्ता मया श्रीगुरवे महात्मने नमो नमस्तेस्तु पुनर्नमोस्तु नमो नमस्तेस्तु पुनर्नमोस्तु नमो नमस्तेस्तु पुनर्नमोस्तु नमस्तस्मै सदैकस्मै कस्मै चिन्महसे नमः यदेतद्विश्वरूपेण राजते गुरुराजते यदेतद्विश्वरूपेण राजते गुरुराजते। थोड़ा सा वॉल्यूम चाहिए, लिटिल नॉट, इट शुड नॉट। कल कंप्लेंट आया कि हम राजधानी एक्सप्रेस चला दिए थे, so today I think I have to be Duranta, not Rajdhani. Duranta has, the name has come from जो डिस्टेंस को हटा देते हैं, दूर अंता, जो दूर को अंत कर देते हैं। तो आज तो खत्म करने वाले हैं, तो दूर को तो अंत करना ही है। But whenever you are having difficulty, when I am flip-flopping, going back and all, you can tell, I can reduce the... And so much of information need not be given also. Later on we were having a discussion that what I wanted to say about the Maya, it's quite an abstract concept I was trying to explain. It appears in two places, in 7th chapter and 13th chapter. In 7th chapter, he has said that these are all apara prakriti, means just elements. But the appearance of the jiva also is part of prakriti, because the truth, it doesn't have anything second or anything, it is transcendental. Whenever any creation, any division, any separation comes, like subject-object, that prakriti coming in. Without prakriti, without karma, without energy, nothing can come. So even this jiva, formation of the jiva itself is part of the prakriti, but he is calling it the para prakriti, means the supreme prakriti. It's not the elemental prakriti of the objectude, because the objectude we are seeing is actually because of our indriyas, the senses. Suppose we have 5 senses, according to that we are seeing the world. Suppose we develop 10 senses, will not the world be entirely different? Suppose we develop microscopic vision, will not the world be entirely different? All these signals, they are coming to the senses. As soon as they go in, there is no vision, sound, anything at all. All are pulses, electrical pulses, which are reaching the brain. And where it is exciting the brain, depending on that, somewhere sound is produced, somewhere vision is produced, somewhere smell is produced. So the whole jugglery is taking place in the mind, in the consciousness. And even the body-mind complex also is an appearance in that consciousness. That is what he is saying. By jiva bhutam means becoming jiva. That means with the association of the body-mind complex, which is also a projection of the consciousness only. He is holding the whole Prakriti, that whole world. Dharyate Jagat. Dharyate means who is holding the world. Because this whole world, as we are perceiving, is held by the Jiva. That is, it is a perception of the Jiva which has which has projected, not produced. It is not a Parinama Srishti. Who has projected the body-mind complex, and through that the whole universe we are interacting with. Those who have seen that planetarium, you see in the sky the various planets, stars, etc. Actually, what is it? There is in the instrument there are star-like opening, there are red opening, pink opening, yellow opening. According to that is projected on the sky. Is it not so? So our jiva is like that. The five senses, they are projecting the world, which is a constitution, which is constituted of the five sense perceptions only. Our world is constituted of these five sense perceptions. In science, if we write, we will have 5 coordinates to explain the whole universe, because we are perceiving it with the 5 senses. But that, for jiva itself, it is appearing to be a jiva segregated from the consciousness in association with the body. But the whole thing is jugglery of the Prakriti, or that is what we call Maya. Now, if we understand Maya in this manner, the understanding will be a little better. That's what I wanted to do. The same thing again appears in 13th chapter. He is saying that Sanghatas Chetana Dhrutihi is there. You can read that in some, I don't remember now. Sanghatas Chetana. Sanghata means the body-mind complex. Sanghatas Chetana means the awareness we are feeling, that we generally refer to as consciousness generally. But here we are talking about the universal transcendental consciousness. But the awareness felt by the body, it is the Sanghatas Chetana. That means, as I said, the reflection of the light in the mirror. Sanghata is the mirror. When it is reflected, the reflected light, which is our general awareness, is the Sanghatas Chetana. That is also part of the Prakriti. Prakriti means the consciousness. Through Prakriti it is appearing like that. So it is part of the world projection. The pristine consciousness, there is nothing. There is no difference. Subject, object, nothing is there. So when the body falls, that Sanghatas Chetana dies. Nothing happens to the Chit, the original Chetana. So this Sanghatas Chetana also is called Chit Abhasa, Chidabhasa. This is in Shastras, that is a common name. Chit Abhasa means it is like the Chit, but not fully Chit. It is like the Chit, like the radiation, like the reflected beam of the mirror. It is like the original light, but it is actually reflected by this. So let us come back to 18th. In the 63rd shloka of 18th chapter, he says, before that he has completed what? In the beginning once he had said, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prajachati. There it was ordinary puja. You are offering Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, but with bhakti. Yome Bhaktya Prajachati. Tadaham Bhakti Uparhatam. That it is given with devotion, then it will have the effect. If you just go on giving all kinds of sweets and chapan bhog and all, nothing will happen. That bhakti element is what creates the transformation. Then he came to all the karmas to be offered as yajna. Then he came to yatah pravrittir bhutanam yena sarvamidam tataha swakarmana tam abhyarcha siddhim vindati manavaha. That means with all your karma, all the 4 categories of people, depending on their swakarma, natural karma, you offer it to the Lord. How do you offer? By doing that natural karma without sangha, without desire. That is why we are saying natural karma. If the desire is there, the karma will not be the natural karma. You will be attracted and swayed by the desire. That we have explained in detail. Is it not? Then it won't be the pure karma just. Actually, there is nothing wrong in karma. The karma binds us because of the desire and ego. If the desire and ego are taken away, then karma becomes absolutely pure. Like the whole universe is running with how much of action, activity, we cannot even imagine. In the universe, the amount of activities going on, can you imagine? It's unimaginable. Tremendous activities are going on. There is nothing wrong in that. The moment desire and ego is added to the karma, it becomes binding. That is creating the bondage. You can call ragadvesha also, it's all the same, ragadvesha and sangha. That is creating the bondage. So if that is eliminated, then all karmas become offered to yatha pravrittir bhutani yena sarvamidam tataha. The truth from which the whole creation has appeared and which is sustaining the whole creation, which is pervading the whole creation. Offer it to that. From there, karma offering to, in the 62nd verse which we have completed yesterday, tameva sharanam gaccha sarva bhavena bharata. Another step progress. What is that? Karma they are not saying. Whatever bhavas are coming in your mind, the emotions, the thoughts, everything. So it has become completely internalized. You don't have to do any activity also. So whatever bhavas are coming, you take refuge under him. Again, in the bhava, you have to notice where the smallness, the constrictions are coming by desire and ego. So if they are removed, then all the bhavas are given. Yesterday I told you that even the so-called gussa, so-called the anger, that also becomes beautiful if you are not the same powerful action if you are taking without ego, without desire, without personal any preference, prejudice or ragadvesha. Roshopi nirmaladhyam ramaniya eva. Did I not say yesterday? That those who are pure-minded, those whose minds are freed of all the desires and sangha, for them even the expression of the so-called krodha, actually it is not krodha, it is, we call it Rudramurti. In Shiva's case, when he is destroying everything, we call it Rudra Rupa. That means powerful, that is a pure expression, free of all preference, prejudice, sangha, ego, everything is not there. Then that same powerful expression is called Rudramurti. Shiva is called also Rudra because he is the Lord of destruction. So Sarva Bhavena Bharata, that means from the bhavas also we have to eliminate these two elements of sangha and ragadvesha, or can call ego and desires. Now in 63rd verse he is saying, Iti te jnanamakyatam
Iti te jnanamakyatam
guhyat guhyataram maya
Guhyat guhyataram maya
vimrishyetadasheshena
Vimrishyetadasheshena
yathechasi tatha kuru.
Yathechasi tatha kuru.
See, this shloka actually is clarifying what he has told so far in the whole. He says, Iti te jnanam akhyatam guhyat guhyataram maya. By me, this knowledge, more secret than the secret, all whatever is there, everything I have told you. Vimrishyaitat asheshena. You think about it, you analyze it endlessly. Yathechasi tatha kuru, and then do whatever you like. That is, you fight the war or leave the war or take up sannyasa, whatever you feel fit for you, you do it after thinking that. So it says that although he had been talking about surrender, talking about sarva bhavena, swakarmana, patram pushpam phalam toyam, all this they have said. But the whole action, the responsibility is still resting on you. That means on your ego. that you have to do it. So he is clarifying it by giving this statement that I have told you everything, now you think well and do whatever you do. That means you have to decide what you are going to do. Whether your surrender is true or not, you have to analyze that. Am I deceiving myself? Because self-deception is very common in surrender. People will say, "Humne to sab kuch chhod diya hai." Whether it is to God or anybody, it is a deception. So you have to analyze whether you have surrendered or not. All the analysis is resting on you. Now saying that, so you do, that means the responsibility on you. Saying that, he says that, but Arjuna, you are my most favorite. You are my most beloved. I cannot leave you like that because there is something still more which I have not told you. What is that? Sarvaguhyatamam. He says, I have told you, I am telling you again, but not in this manner. In 9th chapter, yesterday I showed that similar things have been uttered, but in a casual manner, not in this manner. Here he is coming to the end point of surrender. Sarvaguhyatamam bhuyaha.
Sarvaguhyatamam bhuyaha.
Shrinu me paramam vachaha.
Shrinu me paramam vachaha.
Ishtosi me dridhamiti.
Ishtosi me dridhamiti.
Tato vakshyami te hitam.
Tato vakshyami te hitam.
You are my Ishta and very strongly, so for your welfare I am disclosing this ultimate secret, that supreme secret. What is that? Manmana bhava madbhakto.
Manmana bhava madbhakto.
Madhyaji mam namaskuru.
Madhyaji mam namaskuru.
Mame vaishyasi satyam te.
Mame vaishyasi satyam te.
Pratijani priyosi me.
Pratijane priyosi me.
See, here he is saying that just before he said, you do whatever you feel like. Here he is standing in front and saying that you don't have to worry about anything. What is Sarvaguhyatamam, the ultimate secret? I have given you all the knowledge, whatever you have understood, you have understood. But there is, in the war, you are not going to be able to so much think and analyze and do the right thing. How will you do? The war is a kind of involvement which we cannot even imagine. Even otherwise also, there is a scope of self-deception and everything. So the greatest secret is that when the Guru, the realized Guru, the Sadguru who has identified with the soul, with the universal soul. That is why Krishna everywhere he is saying, Mat comes to me, becomes like me, because his me is not the body-mind limited me. His me is the universal transcendental Atma. So he comes in front as the Guru to guide the disciple. Then only the surrender takes its final form. I have a CD, Sharanagati, the 5th Purushartha. Generally we talk about 4 Purusharthas. What is that? Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. It ends with Moksha. Beyond Moksha is considered to be Sharanagati. Surrender. That means he will not even want Moksha. He will say, oh Lord, whatever you feel like, you take me there. I don't know anything about it. If I have to get born again and again, the common religious idea of moksha, I am ready to do that also. I am not interested even in moksha. So he renounced everything looking for moksha. Then finally, he renounces that also. That is the Sharanagati. That is our desire, if you say desire, our attraction for this ultimate goal makes us renounce everything of the world. All other things are renounced. But ultimately this desire also has to be renounced. Suppose self-realization. People become so much concentrated to realize the self. For that they renounce everything. Nothing anymore attracts him. But the last point is he has to renounce that desire also. He has to drop that desire also. Then only he will become whatever he is. he attains the truth. So, Sharanagati is considered to be the fifth Purushartha. There in that city I have spoken, it's a record of our Baba, our Gurudev, when he went to Narayana Tirtha, the Param Gurudev in present Bangladesh, in Faridpur. His Jnana Sadhana Mat was his ashram. Whether it is there, we don't know. So Baba went there and while attending his satsang, he used to write down in his diary. So that we had discussed as the Sharanagati, the Panchama Purushartha, the fifth Purushartha. There he is saying that, Ore, I have to speak in Bengali, then I will translate. Ore, Sharanagati ki atoi soja re, ভগবানকে দেখলি না, শুনলি না, তিনি আছেন কিনা জানিসও না, আর তুমি সব কিছু ভগবানকে দিয়ে বসলি। Is surrender so easy? The God you have never seen, never known, whether he is at all there also you don't know. How will you surrender to the God? How have you done? We have tried to explain this surrender, that when there is no desire and when there is no ego, then it is surrender. That is our practice. But how that practice will finally materialize, that when the God comes right in front in the form of the Guru, and when the Guru tells you to do something, you will find it very difficult because it may go against your preference and prejudice. I have told so many times that I was deadly against construction. Deadly against means my father had sent once to look after the house he was constructing for seeing, because I had finished my 12th class at that time, so I was free. After 2 days, the chief mason told my father that ye ladka ko bhejne se koi fayda nahi hai. There is no point in sending this boy because he is reading some book lying on the charpai. He is not seeing anything. See, the bricks have gone like this and it has come like this. He did not see. Actually, it is his fault. The mason should have seen that the bricks have been wrongly laid. But he is blaming me for that. So my father said that, you don't have to go anymore. My work was over. I was very much against construction. Even like that it was. And you know, the day I entered ashram, joined the ashram, the next day Swamiji was standing on the pathway and I came there. He said, no, my name was whatever was my name, that since you have come, let us start some construction. So I understood. Actually, before joining the ashram, I was thinking that one day I saw Swamiji's behavior. I had visited the ashram in 86 May, then again in 86 December, then I joined the ashram in 87 May. Now, which was the time I don't remember, either 86 May or 86 December. When we were there, something happened. And Swamiji was very powerfully speaking to some local hooligans and all. Calling them to the ashram, he was speaking. From a distance, I was observing, what is this? What is Swamiji doing? So Swamiji came running near me and said that, don't get affected. I have called them to put some sense in them. Then again he ran to them and started shouting at them and all that. So I was wondering, in my mind I was thinking that, what is this? Nobody would like to face these people. Even on the road, if you see such people, you would avoid and go avoiding them. Anybody. And here is a saint. A saint generally will like a peaceful life. He is of a peaceful nature. What made him call these people and speak with so much of fervor that anytime they can attack? It was like that. So I was thinking and I understood that he is doing, it is thinking about the society. And whatever he thinks have to be done, for that he has renounced his preference prejudice, that he doesn't mind facing these people also. Later on we came to know further, because we participated in 5 movements which he took up there, getting arrested by the police and all. So we came to know very well, which all I have written in the book, A Great Association. So that we came to know later. But at that time, knowing it, thinking about it, then I understood that the sadhana, ultimate sadhana is to go beyond likes and dislikes. By that time, our sadhana were more or less done. I mean, I did not need anything more, but I understood that this is what I lack. That is going beyond likes and dislikes. And that will not happen if we are staying in home, because you have always preference. The people you don't want to visit your home will not come there. So you are protected. Ramakrishna Dev used to say that doing sadhana from home is like fighting from inside the fort. That you will not be open to this. And if you come to know what all things we face the first 5 years, the kind of people, the spies from USA, spies from Russia, all sorts of people have come there and created problem from us. What kind of a life we had gone through from particularly 87 to 92. So, never it would have happened if we had stayed according to our own place. Whatever we prefer, we would do. Other things we will not do. So that day I understood that if I come to ashram, join the ashram, it will be to get over the likes and dislikes. That is the sadhana I have to do. So the second day when Swamiji said that let us do some construction, I understood, it has already started. So somehow nature has taken care of it, that whatever I dislike now I have to do. And it started from making a garage to prayer hall to one after another, finally all everywhere, even CIRD Delhi and CIRD here, but Tiwariji also had been looking after both CIRD Delhi and CIRD Jamshedpur but the major decisions and everything I had to take. Particularly our construction of the guest house and all, everything I had to design fully. And we were working with the masons also. We have concreted the roof, concreting, etc. We have worked with everybody throughout. So the 25 years, now it is 32, but 25 years I did not have anybody to pass over the rudder to take over my job. I was doing only construction. So, this is where I understood that we have to go beyond. It's not easy to go beyond the likes and dislikes, prejudice, preference and prejudice. Only when the Guru says that you have to do, and you should be all out ready to do immediately. There should not be any resistance at all. Then only it is surrender. And by that you will get so much of joy in surrendering your ego, your preference and prejudice. We all say it is Guru Bhakti, Guru Bhakti. I say I never had any Guru Bhakti. I don't know whether I had Guru Bhakti. But I have a love that is different. But I have done whatever is told. So that becomes the greatest test for Sharanagati. Did I tell in English what Narayana Tirtha Dev said, or I forgot in the process? He said that God, how can you surrender to God? Because God you have not seen. You don't know whether He is or not even. Your surrender will never become complete until you have to surrender before the Guru. Because Guru's words you have to follow. And there you cannot have any judgment at all. Why is he asking me to do this? It is not a good thing. He is asking me to do something wrong. Nothing. Whatever he is asking, why should he ask you to do something wrong? He is a person who has got over all the things. If at all he asks you to do something wrong, there is a greater Shubha, greater auspicious goal behind that. Just like when Krishna asked Yudhishthir to say that your son is dead. Yudhishthir refused because he was egoistic about his satya, his truthfulness. But why should Krishna ask him to tell a lie? There is greater truth behind that, but he refused to do that. So the kind of surrender Arjuna had, Yudhishthir did not have. He was egoistic about his dharma, his satya, everything. So that dharma he was still attached to. That is why the next sentence comes, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam raja. Mam ekam. Nothing else. You have to take refuge in me alone, me and me alone. Sarva dharman parityajya. There is no question of dharma, adharma. They are all within the limited range. Aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. I will relieve you from all the sin. What is sin? In spirituality, anything that contracts our mind, makes our mind small, is a sin. Actually, punya, that virtue we say, punya, papa punya, both are papas in spirituality. Because by doing some punya karma, if you feel more egoistic, I have done a lot of social work, I have established this temple, that temple, these are considered to be punya karma. But if it makes your ego still heavier and bigger, it is a papa, because it is making you small, it is making you egoistic, it is taking you away from the spiritual goal. So, we have to go beyond, transcend. It is not rejecting dharma and adharma, it is transcending dharma and adharma. We have to transcend all the dualities there. Even shubha, shubha and ashubha also we have to transcend. He says, man mana bhava, mad bhaktaha. Man mana. See, each item, aspect of her personality is taken. Because he wants a complete integration of the personality. Integration with what? With the Guru. Or you can say with the soul through that. But here it is with the Guru. What kind of man mana? That means his mind will become completely covered with the Guru's mind. It is the mental integration. Mad bhaktaha. Bhakti, what will it will do? I explain what is bhakti. It is the emotional aspect of that. So mad bhaktaha means the emotional aspect you completely join with me or dedicate to me. Mat yaji. Yaji has come from yajna. Now, two ways are there. If you are doing any yajna, you do it thinking of me. Another is that Bhagavad Gita says all karma should be yajna. All karma has to be transformed into yajna. Now here madhyaji means then all karma, all actions you are doing, you will do thinking of me alone, whatever he says, the Guru says, Guru wants. Mam namaskuru. What is this namaskara? Namaskara is the expression of what? Gratitude, whatever you think. That how do you express the Atma Nivedana? Namaskara has now become that we just prostrate without having the real Namaskara. The true Namaskara is the mind feeling humble at the feet of the Guru or God or wherever you are doing the Namaskara. So madhyaji mam namaskuru. So it is all aspects of our being are taken into account. That everything is directed and covered, wholesomely infused. That is the correct expression. Infused with the Guru. Earlier it was infused, you have to do the Atma and you have to think and infuse yourself with the Atma. Here it is becoming easy because infusion of the Guru is important because he is right there and you know what he wants. He will tell you what you want. If you want to do according to your wish, he may say, no, don't do it. You have to accept. Not out of grudge or anything. You have to accept everything, do everything lovingly. So actually people say that then where is your self? Will you not become very weak? It is just the opposite. To become zero is our Swamiji says, becoming hero. Nobody has the courage to do that kind of an Atma Samarpana. It needs the greatest courage. This kind of a Sharanagati or Atma Samarpana, it needs the greatest courage to do. All will not be able to renounce like that. That is why I said in Patanjali Sutras also, that after saying it, this has to be done, that has to be done, this is Samadhi, etc., 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 in 23rd Sutra or 24th, he is saying, Ishvara pranidhanatva. That means you do all these things or simply surrender to the Lord. This is called surrender. Now, Ishvara, whether you can surrender or not, that I have already discussed. Pranidhanat means prakrishta rupena nidhana. That means completely Atma Samarpana. So he says that manmana bhava madbhaktaha mad yadi mam namaskuru mam eva eshyasi. You will attain me, you will reach me. Reach me means reach the self. He has identified with the self. Satyam te pratijane priyosime. You will definitely reach me. I am promising. Because you are my beloved. Priyosime. Pratijane means I am promising that you will reach me by completely doing Atma Samarpana, completely taking my Sharanagati. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam raja. Only me you take refuge. Aham tva sarva papebhya. That means all the constriction. What is spirituality? To get over all the constrictions. Vidyate hridaya granthi chidyante sarva samshayaha kshiyante chasya karmani tasmin drishte paravare. Three things happen to our personality when we find the truth everywhere, all around, in the small as well as the big. What happens? Vidyate hridaya granthi. The knots of the ego, they get untied. You can say emotional knots. Ego is an emotional aspect. So the knots which is making us small, making us constricted, we are not happy with ourselves. Emotionally we are not fulfilled. We think that I have to do this, I have to do that. I am not feeling fulfilled. That is an emotional knot. That is the ego. I did this, I did that. If I did something great, I will be elated. If I did something wrong, then I will feel sinful. All these are emotional knots of the ego. As long as the smallness about our identity is there, this will be there. So vidyate hridaya granthi means that emotional feeling of the I is becoming infinite. It is all the knots, all the limitations are gone. Chidyante sarva samshayaha. Next is the intelligential aspect of our being. All the doubts of the intelligence will be gone, will be completely removed, eliminated. Kshiyante chasya karmani. He will not have anything more to do or not to do also, because there won't be any doership in him. The ego of doership will be completely gone. So he will be emotionally fulfilled, he will be intelligentially fulfilled, and he will be fulfilled in doing anything at all. He will be his actions will be the free action of the Lord. He will be unified with the divine will. So he will be always in divinity. Whatever he is doing, it will be the divine power working through him. So he will always float in that divinity. Whatever comes to be done, he goes on doing. So that is the sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami, means all these constrictions, all these knots I will remove. Ma shuchaha, never worry about that at all. Never grieve. In 10th chapter I have said that he said, Jnana deepena bhasvata. I will light the lamp of knowledge in your heart. You don't have to do anything. I will light the lamp of knowledge in your heart, which will remove all the ignorance and darkness. Now it is the end. The Bhagavad Gita is over here. The other verses are the concluding description. The main message is over. It ends with this surrender before the Guru, when the God comes down as the Guru. And it's a real surrender you have to pursue there. Now he is saying, the concluding verses, Idam te na tapaskaya
Idam te na tapaskaya
na bhaktaya kadachana
na bhaktaya kadachana
na cha shushrushave vachyam
na cha shushrushave vachyam
na cha mam yobhyasuyati.
na cha mam yobhyasuyati.
He says that this message of the Bhagavad Gita, first he says to whom it is not to be given. Then he says to whom it is to be given. First is the restriction and to whom it is not to be given. He says the atapaskaya, who does not have any austerity. That means he is only indulgent in his senses and all. There is no austerity, I explained. whatever I want to do, if we restrict, if we discipline it, then it becomes an austerity. Not to be, normally we are born as slave to the objective world. When that slavery is won over and we become victorious over the slavery, then it becomes an austerity. Suppose fasting, because we are always after eating, one day if you fast, it is an austerity. Like that, all austerities are like that. So if somebody does not have any austerity, means he is very much indulgent and there is no tapasya there that he can absorb anything. So you should not tell a person who has not any tapasya, any austerity at all. Abhaktaya, who doesn't have any devotion to the great things, say God or the Shastras or the Guru, whichever, they always negate all these things. Kadachana, never tell to such people. Still another class is there. Nacha ashushushave. Shushusha means two things. One is to sunne ki ichha. That means to eagerness to hear. And ashushusha means they will not listen to. You are often, many of our devotees, they try to pick up people from the suna, bahut acha hai. It is very good. They don't want to listen. What can you do? You cannot do anything. Another meaning is shushusha. It is actually listening to the Guru's word or the Shastra's word. So from there it has come to another meaning that those who do not do any seva, any service, that is also called shushusha. That even the service to the patient, we say rogi ki shushusha. So basically it has come from sunne ki ichha, the intention to listen to. If a person doesn't intend to listen to, then it should not be told to him. Then the last one is abhyasuyati, asuya. Asuya. Asuya means who belittles. Suppose in Krishna's case, there were Shishupala and others who were always belittling him. Jarasandha and others. That his guna, they were not accepting. I have seen in Baba's village when I used to go, that they were trying to decrying Baba's statue, because they were finding in such a remote village, people from all over the world sometimes are coming, meeting, rarely, but still they are coming. So the villagers, some of the villagers developed some asuya. That means, oh, what is this? This person must be attracting people by some wrong method. They will not understand the merit of the person because they don't know what he is. Who will know a jnani? Baba used to say that whenever you have a flame, around the flame there will be a dark shadow. So the people around a jnani will be, so don't come near the jnanis. They will be. So asuya means finding fault in somebody's merit, belittling him, decrying him. So if such people are there, you don't tell this message, give this message to them. Naturally, there won't be any effect also. Your strength will be depleted. Ya idam paramam guhyam. I think you have imam, na? Both are correct. Imam. Ya imam paramam guhyam.
Ya imam paramam guhyam.
Madbhakteshvabhidhasyati.
Madbhakteshvabhidhasyati.
Bhaktim mai param kritva.
Bhaktim mai param kritva.
Mame vaishyatya samshayaha.
Mame vaishyatya samshayaha.
Ya imam paramam guhyam. He already has said that I have disclosed you the ultimate secret, the last param, supreme secret. One who discloses, explains this supreme, adheshyati, abhidhasyati. Abhidhasyati means explains. Vyakhya karna, path karna, vyakhya karna. Bhakteshu, those who explain this message in front of to my devotees. Mad bhakteshu abhidhasyati. Those who exposes this message to my devotees. Imam paramam guhyam, this great secret, those who explains and exposes to my devotees. Bhaktimmai param kritva. How? Considering the devotion to me is the supreme in life. That means there is a great underlying truth there. Not to aggrandize his speaking power or his explanation power or his panditya or anything, scholarliness. There, when you are explaining the truth of the message, the secret to the masses, you should do with that supreme devotion to the Lord, not trying to aggrandize your own panditya, your own scholarliness or your power of vyakhana, which is again ego. Bhaktimmai param kritva. What have they written in the translation? Can you see? It can be explained in another manner also, that Mameva eshyasi asamshaya. That means he will attain the parabhakti and attain me. That is also a meaning. But another meaning is that in his explanation he should highlight the bhakti part of it, not anything else. He should not miss too. Bhaktimmai param kritva mam eva eshyati asamshayah. There is no doubt about it. So he is giving the greatest position to the Mahatma, the people who are explaining this Bhagavad Gita, that means prachara, to the people who have devotion, to them it is great, because how do you look at it, that the whole life will get transformed if you understand this. And a person who is doing this job, will he not be blessed? Nacha tasman manusyeshu
Nacha tasman manusyeshu
kaschin me priyakrittamaha bhavita nacha me tasmad anyah priyataro bhuvi. He says that amongst the people there is nobody else who does something greater than this. Priyakrittamaha. Not only that, there won't be anybody born also in future who will be more beloved to me, who is doing a work which is more beloved to me, which is more loved by me. Nacha tasmat manusyeshu kaschin me priyakrittamaha. That means who does a more lovable work for which is more lovable for me. Bhavita nacha me tasmad anyah priyataro bhuvi. And there is nobody else who is going to be born also doing something more lovable for me. That means Krishna is giving the highest certificate to the Vyakhyana of Bhagavad Gita. That is, nobody is there and nobody will be there also. Adhyeshyate jayayimam dharmyam
samvadamavayoh
jnanayajnena tenaham ishtasyamiti me matihi. Now he has completed one who does the Vyakhyana, one who explains or exposes this message. Now he is saying one who does the Patha, who studies this Bhagavad Gita. Adhyeshyate means adhya. One who studies the Bhagavad Gita. Imam dharmyam, dharma, it is not dharmam, it is dharmyam. That which produces dharma is dharmyam. Because Dharma is the law of sustenance. And Bhagavad Gita, study of Bhagavad Gita will produce dharma. It is dharmya. That means it will sustain the world, sustain nature, sustain our life. The meaning of dharma is dharma eva hato hanti dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. Dharmo dharayati prajaha. This dharma has come from dharana, that means retaining, preserving. So, dharma eva hato hanti dharmo rakshati rakshita means if you protect dharma, then you will be protected by dharma. If you flout dharma, then you will be killed by dharma. That is what it is happening in polluting the atmosphere, the river, everything. We are destroying nature. It is adharma. And that pollution, the ecological disbalance is killing us also. So that is true in every aspect of life. If you abide by dharma, then dharma will also protect you. If you flout dharma, then you will be led to destruction because of the dharmic law, because it is the natural, fundamental law of sustenance. Sustenance of nature, sustenance of our life. So, samvadam avayavoho. That means this conversation that the Bhagavad Gita is between Krishna and Arjuna, it is a dharmyam samvadam. It is producing, it's a conversation which will generate dharma everywhere. It will sustain the whole nature and life. Jnana yajnena tena aham ishtahasyam iti me mati. I considered that he becomes very dear to me through like jnana yajna. That one who is studying the Bhagavad Gita, he is doing the jnana yajna for me. Yajnas as people do yajna. This is a jnana yajna. Study of the Bhagavad Gita is jnana yajna. Shraddhavan anasuyascha
Shraddhavananasuyascha
Shinuyadapi yo naraha
Shrunuyadapi yo naraha
Sopi mukta shubhan lokan
Sopi muktah shubhan lokan
Prapnuyat punya karmanam.
Prapnuyat punya karmanam.
That is, if somebody suppose do not go into so much of the detail of meaning, cannot understand, but he is listening to this explanation or exposition of Bhagavad Gita, how? Shraddhavan anasuyascha. Anasuya means who is not having that belittling tendency or finding fault with others. This asuya, it is very important in spirituality. Repeatedly in Bhagavad Gita it has been told. And Shraddhavan. What is the Shraddha? It is the valuing it, giving it the supreme value. I may not have the intelligence and the talent to understand it deeply, but I give it the supreme value. That Bhagavad Gita message, I give it supreme value. And with that attention, with that valuation, with that sacred mind, we are listening to that. Then he will also be taken to Punya Loka. That means ultimately from the Punya Loka means thereafter he will take to knowledge and further. But it is because he is not just given to the knowledge at this point. It's a lower level of absorption of the knowledge. Sopi, he also. Saha api means he also. Muktaha, becoming free. Shubhan lokan prapnuyat. He will get when the body falls, he will attain the best of the heavens. Punya karmanam, where only the punya karmas, those who have done lot of punya karmas, they go. They will also go there. That means they are saying, they is trying to say that of all the punya karmas, that making temple, feeding people, dana satra, this, that, all, ashwamedha yaga, this is a great punya karma of that level that you will attain. Don't think that if you still believe in that heaven and hell, don't think that by doing it we will lose the heaven or you will miss the heaven. Even just by listening also you will attain the heaven. But here important is Shraddhavan anasuyascha shinuyadapi. Now, Kachchidetat shrutam partha
Kachchidetat shrutam partha
Kacchidetat shrutam partha
Kacchidetat shrutam partha
Tvayaiకాగ్రేణ chetasa
Tvayaiకాగ్రేణ chetasa
Kachchid ajnana sammohaha
Kachchid ajnana sammohaha
Kachchid ajnana sammohaha
Kachchid ajnana sammohaha
Pranashtante dhananjaya.
Dhananjaya.
Now at the end he is asking the disciple that, oh Dhananjaya, did you listen to whatever I said with ekagrata, one pointed attention, or your mind was only occupied by Duryodhana and others? Ekagrena, tvaya ekagrena chetasa. That was your mind concentratedly absorbing what I was speaking? Kachchid ajnana sammohaha pranashtante. Your moha, which was there because of the ignorance, has it gone completely? You are relieved of the ajnana. Why? Because right in the first chapter he said, Yat rajya sukha lobhena hantum svajanam udyataha. Aho vata mahat papam kattum vyavasita vayam. Yat rajya sukha lobhena hantum svajanam udyataha. That we are doing this, we are engaging in this war. It's a great sin because we are trying to kill our people, our own grandfather, teacher, etc. only for winning over the happiness which comes from the kingship. So has that moha gone, the delusion gone? Listening to it, Krishna is asking Arjuna. Arjuna uvacha Nashto moha smritirlabdha
Nashto moha smritirlabdha
Tvat prasadan mayachyuta
Tvat prasadan mayachyuta
Sthitosmi gata sandeha
Sthitosmi gata sandeha
Karishye vachanam tava.
Karishye vachanam tava.
He says, Nashto moha, my all delusion is gone. Smritir labdha, I have got back the memory. What is that memory? Memory of my real identity. Actually, we call self-realization, it is getting back the memory. Because self has not to be produced. We are already the self. But we have forgotten that we are self. The cover of ignorance, cover of desire and ego, that has made us forget what we really are. So actually our Shastras say we have all committed suicide. Atmaha is the word. Bhagavatam also said. Because we don't know what we are. That is our real Atma, the infinite Atma. And we think we are small. So have we not committed the real suicide, not the other suicide, bodily suicide? It is the real Atmahanta. So he says that Smritir Labdha, I have got back the memory. In Chandogya I said that Narada's, the Sanat Kumara, his advice to Narada, that when Narada wanted some advice, that Ahara Shuddhau Sattva Shuddhi Sattva Shuddhau Dhruva Smritihi Smritilambhe Sarvagrantinam Vipramoksha. Ahara Shuddha, when all the inputs are purified. Ahara doesn't mean only the food. Whatever inputs, even through the mind, the thoughts, everything is ahara. Through the senses, through the mind, whatever we are reading, whatever we are talking, whatever we are thinking, conversing, all are aharas we are putting. Ahara Shuddhau Sattva Shuddhi. When we purify all the inputs, automatically our being becomes purified. Sattva means the being becomes purified. Sattva Shuddhau Dhruva Smritihi. When the being gets purified, then we get back the Smriti, which is Dhruva means constant. That means there is no change. That Atma, what we are, the identity we are, we get back. Here it may not be that Dhruva Smriti for Arjuna, because it is too fast. He would have got the self Atma Sakshatkara. That is Smriti Labdha, not Dhruva Smriti comes out of knowledge. He has not yet gone that far. It's an immediate response. After the Mahabharata war, Arjuna says that during this war, this great war, torturing war, Krishna, I have forgotten what you said in the beginning of the war. Whatever you had said in Bhagavad Gita, please repeat it. I have forgotten everything. So Krishna says, how can he repeat it? I have also forgotten, because no one speaks out of a situation. He cannot repeat a lecture again. There are Shrutidharas who can repeat the lecture. But the knower, seeing the situation, he speaks. Whatever comes out of his mouth, it is a natural way. So he cannot repeat. But Arjuna said, but I need you, tell me something which will relieve me, because I am not able to retain whatever you had told in Bhagavad Gita. So then again Krishna advises him, which is called Uttara Gita. In Mahabharata it is there, Uttara Gita it is called. So this Smriti Labha, it is not the Dhruva Smriti that they are talking about in Chandogya, but it is the Smriti. The Atma Sakshatkara is the getting back the Smriti. When Baba had written me on the postcard to come for initiation, he had done that such and such day in the Godhuli Lagna. Godhuli Lagna means the evening time. When the cows come back home, the dust comes and there is a pink radiation all around. Generally they say that the daughter should be shown at that time, so that the groom will like the daughter. Godhuli Lagna is the time when the bride, to become bride, when you are giving the daughter in marriage, you should show it to the party, the groom's party in Godhuli Lagna, because that the pinkish light will be reflected on the face and all. So you come on that Godhuli Lagna, and next morning, Yatha Sadhya means as far as possible, we will do Smriti Charana. That means of the Smriti Charana of the truth we will do. See the language. He said we will do the Smriti Charana. That means getting back that Smriti of the Atma. That is the initiation. So, Nashto Moha Smritir Labdha. My delusion is gone. I have got back the memory of my real self. Tvat Prasadat Maya Achyuta. By your grace. O Achyuta. Achyuta means who never swerves. That means again the self. Sthitosmi, I have become stabilized. Gata Sandeha, I have become doubtless. Karishye Vachanam Tava, I am ready to follow whatever you say. See, this is the surrender. He is saying, whatever you say, I will do. Whether it is Shubha, Ashubha, nothing. Whatever you say, I will do. So this is actually not a Ghatana Smriti. Ghatana Smriti means, generally Smriti we refer to when we remember that I was in the school, that happened, this happened. It is the fragmented Smriti. It is not that kind of a Smriti. It is the self revealing itself. And we are discovery. It's the greatest discovery that we can have, that who am I? Sanjaya Uvacha. Now Arjuna's reply is over in one shloka. Krishna wanted to know whether you have delusion is gone. He has replied fully. Now Sanjaya is describing what has happened. Why there is a shi sound? Ityaham Vasudevasya Parthasya cha Mahatmanaha Samvadamimam Shrosham Adbhutam Romaharshanam Vyasa Prasadat Shrutavan Chani Vyasa Prasadat Shrutavan Etad Guhyamaham Param Yogam Yogeshwarat Krishnat
Yogam Yogeshwarat Krishnat
Sakshat Kathayatah Swayam.
Sakshat Kathayatah Swayam.
Now it is Sanjaya's statement. See, we should understand the conversation between a realized guru and a deserving shishya. We should try to value it properly. The great is the value. A guru will not talk irrelevant things. If to a deserving shishya, whatever he speaks, it is like a Veda Vakya. Generally, a knower, whatever he speaks is considered to be Veda Vakya. But to a deserving, close shishya, what he says, it has great, tremendous value. So Sanjay is a person, as a third person, he is having that evaluation. He is also having the Shraddha for it. That he is saying that this kind of a Adbhuta means unprecedented conversation between the realized Guru Sakshat Yogeshwara Krishna, who is talking to his most beloved disciple Arjuna. I have been favored this boon by Vyasadeva. By his boon, I am blessed to hear this conversation between the realized Guru and the deserving Shishya, his most beloved Shishya. Roma Harshanam, my hairs are standing on my body. And it is also Param Guhyam. It is the great secret. Sakshat Kathayata Swayam. That is spoken of by Krishna himself, not recorded in the YouTube or CD or so. So we have to understand other than Krishna and Arjuna, only Sanjaya was able to listen to this conversation. So Sanjaya also had the corresponding deserving qualities. Rajan samsmritya samsmritya
Rajan Samsmritya Samsmritya
samvadamimam adbhutam
Samvadamimam Adbhutam
Keshavarjunayoh punyam
Keshavarjunayoh Punyam
Rishyami cha muhurmuhu
Rishyami cha muhurmuhu
Tatcha samsmritya samsmritya
Taccha Samsmritya Samsmritya
Rupam atyadbhutam hareh
Rupamatyadbhutam Harehe
Vismayo me mahan rajan
Vismayo me mahan rajan
Rishyami cha punah punah.
Rishyami cha punah punah.
See how much he is saying Samsmritya Samsmritya. Samsmritya means by remembering, recollecting, remembering. This is the dhanyata bodha, or the feeling of blessedness. This we are generally missing, because even a person who has renounced and stays with the Guru, if he or she doesn't have the blessedness of that opportunity or the where he or she is, suppose somebody is, or Swamiji also, that unless he or she feels the blessedness that this is an opportunity nobody can get easily, that I am doing such a service to the Mahatma. First of all, in her or his understanding, the value of the Mahatma has to be there properly, where he stands in the whole world, where he stands. Unless that evaluation is there, the blessedness will not be there. Suppose in our ashram many workers are there, but they don't have the evaluation for Swamiji because they don't know. But if some film star comes to see Swamiji, there will be a big queue. With Swamiji they will not behave also properly often. That doesn't matter, but they do not. But if some film star or some great player, sportsman, it happens, ashram, some people who are famous, they come and see. There is a great queue. All the workers will leave their work and stand in queue to have a vision of that person. So it is in their mind, the valuation for a film star is much more than a Mahatma. Do you get it? So the valuation, unless the valuation is there, the blessedness feeling also will not be there. We must feel blessed that such an opportunity has come in my life. Then only this blessedness, the feeling of blessedness or dhanyata bodha, we call it dhanyata bodha. This has great power. That has all the power. If you have the feeling of blessedness, automatically you will get transformed. The transformation will come by the feeling of blessedness alone. That prasada will be felt then. So he says, Rajan, he is actually talking to Dhritarashtra. So here Rajan, he is addressing Dhritarashtra. O Raja, O King, this Adbhutam Samvadam, this unprecedented conversation, thinking of it, because he has participated in it fully. So he can recollect and think about it. This is another indication that how your sadhana will become fructified. It is your spending mind hours on that. Suppose the Guru has said something great or something exposition has been done in a great manner. Now it all depends on your sadhana, how much of mind hour you are going to spend on that. Mind hours you are going to spend on that. Normally people will forget the moment they are out of the hall. Is it not so? But the more and more mind hours we can spend on that, so much will be the benefit. So this samsmritya he is repeatedly saying is that he is spending mind hours on that. Again and again thinking, and he is having the Romaharshana. He is having Haripulation. Keshava Junayoho Punyam Hrishyami cha muhurmuhu. Moment after moment I am ecstatic. I am getting ecstasy by remembering this. The conversation, the Punya conversation between Keshava and Arjuna, between Krishna and Arjuna. Then in the second one, it can be Rupam Atyadbhutam Hare, can be thinking of when Krishna is speaking and giving such a message before the greatest war, such a great war. Certainly his face must have been glowing with power and all. See, a person, a knower, he will always not glow like that. The situation makes him glow with the aura, with the power of sattva-guna and all. So when he is speaking with so much of intensity and greatness, it will be so much amazing to look at him. The glow, aura will be felt around. It can be that, or it can be interpreted as he is thinking of the Vishwarupa shown by Krishna. Because that also was seen by Sanjaya. Third party Sanjaya also seen. So both kind of interpretation, both are okay. That Rupam Atyadbhutam Harehe, that Hari is that Rupa, we can refer it to Vishwarupa also. But I would prefer the other interpretation, that when the Guru is speaking to his close disciple, divulging the greatest secret, it will have a great Atyadbhutam Rupam. If we are able to have, if we have the eyes to see, we will be able to see. Vismayo me mahan rajan hrishyami cha punah punah. I am astonished, O Raja, and I am getting ecstatic every moment, again and again. See, description is very good. As we contemplate on the words repeatedly, whatever, just by once thinking it won't work. As we repeatedly contemplate, you will find newer and newer horizons are opening up. We don't spend that time, we don't spend that mind hours. If we spend mind hours on that, repeatedly, every day will find it is appearing like new. It is another, something is coming, some other knowledge is dawning in us. Newer horizons will open up. Yatra Yogeshwarah Krishno,
Yatra Yogeshwarah Krishno,
Yatra Partho Dhanuddharaha,
यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरः
तत्र श्रीर्विजयो भूतिः
तत्र श्रीर्विजयो भूतिः
ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्मम
ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्मम
यत्र योगेश्वरः कृष्णो
यत्र योगेश्वरः कृष्णो
यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरः
यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरः
तत्र श्रीर्विजयो भूतिः
तत्र श्रीर्विजयो भूतिः
ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्मम.
ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्मम.
Here we find the social dimension of Vyasadeva. He has made Sanjaya to speak for him. It is a Sanjaya statement, but it is Vyasadeva who is giving the knowledge of where lies the society's auspicious goal. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanudhara. That means for the society's welfare we need both. A truth seer who will not fight, who will not rule the kingdom, but his mind is absolutely clear to guide the ruler. And the ruler has to be like Arjuna, the Dhanudharaha. That means he has to work as an instrument for the divine. One is connected to the divine in his own right, that he is completely anchored in his soul. And whatever he speaks, it is the divine language, it is the soul's language. But the other person is connected to this guide and master. And he has to rule. So often he will not be able to get the proper guidance because his mind will be given to multiple things occupied with that. But he can certainly take the guidance from the person who is always in the divine, is anchored in the divine. So this is the way the divinity can work in the society in its magnificent manner. It will be a divine rule when the ruler is connected with a divine person who is anchored fully in the divine. So the ruler also becomes divine. That is why in our country, the king is supposed to be a representative of divine. And good kings, they were all like that. Tatra Shrir Vijayaha Bhutir Dhruva Nitihi. These are the things will happen there. Where? In that country or in the society, these are the things will happen. Shri has got two meanings. One is the Lakshmi, but Lakshmi is Vishnu Patni. That means when the truth has its expression as the glory, it is actually the Atma glory, that Atma's glory which comes on the face generally. Shri is generally referred to that prosperity, Lakshmi. But Bhutihi also is prosperity. It can be material prosperity as well as internal prosperity also. Vijayaha, victory. Even victory will be there. The country has to fight with others. There is nothing wrong in fighting. You have to protect the country. But the ruler has to be straightforward and anchored and guided by the divine laws. Dhruva nitihi. That means Dhruva means abhyabhicharini, the nitihi, the law, which is the abhyabhicharini niti. That means the law has its fundamental support in the foundation of the society, that it is not fluctuating. It's a fundamental law. We say abhyabhicharini nitihi. That means which doesn't swerve. So where these two are there, the Yogeshwara Krishna and Dhanurdhara Arjuna, that means the man, the knower anchored always to divinity, and the ruler who is following the knower, then there all the prosperity, all the goodness and the fundamental law of nature, everything will be flourishing there. Victory also. So I have completed on time, almost on time. Whenever the Ikshaku Vamshas kings were having any, they used to take Upadesha from Vasishtha Deva. Whenever, say even in Rama's case, when he was not able to do anything, the Dasharatha presented the case to Vishwamitra, Vasishtha and all. And they decided, Vishwamitra said that let Vasishtha instruct Rama, because he is the Kula Guru for them. This happens everywhere. When our Vijayanagara kingdom was under invasion, at one time the Sringeri Acharya went to rule, that Vidyaranya Muni you must have heard of, the writer of Panchadashi. He was a sannyasin, but he went and ruled the kingdom for 35 years or so and made the kingdom very prosperous, everything settled. Then he put the next heir there and went back to his ashram. The Guru asked him that, have you forgotten? In reply to that, he wrote the Panchadashi, that he has not forgotten. So in our country it has happened many times. Even when Rama went to and Dasharatha died, for some time Vasishtha was the king. Vasishtha had to rule the kingdom. This has happened in many cases. This is our country. We should understand. Prabuddham vimuktam vikaradihinam prasannam sada nitya bodha swarupam param nishchalam nirgunam salvarupam bhajeham sadana smarami pranomi. Prabuddham vimuktam vikaradihinam prasannam sada nitya bodha swarupam param nishchalam nirgunam salvarupam bhajeham sadana smarami pranomi.